That's the show. You have like, your fans that were there maybe the first time we played London, opening for Sick of It All at the Astoria or the Mean Fiddler. And they're in the back. They got a seat. They got a comfortable seat. They sprung for a VIP or whatever. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like they're comfortable. They're texting with the babysitter. You know what I mean? And then down to the front row, the front row has always been 16 years old for the last 25 years. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, James Wilson-Taylor here for Roxanne. We are backstage at London's Brixton Academy today. Rise Against headlining tonight, and the guys join me now. Hello, gentlemen. How are we?
Great. Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah, doing well.
Good stuff. Good to have you back in the UK. Let's start right there. That's got to be an always nice experience. I feel like, I'm very biased, but this territory embraces you guys, loves to see you guys over here. Got to be always nice to come back over for shows, right?
Yeah, it's been super consistent for so many years. Brixton's one of my favorite venues. What a legendary place to play. Not every venue has this much history, and so as guys who play lots of venues, they all don't have the character that this place has. So always memorable shows here, but yeah, all over the UK. It's all we always look forward to coming back.
Yeah, amazing. No, it's nice to see. And also having our friends in LS Dunes out on the road is very, very nice. A lot of history with those guys, I'm sure, over the years and their respective projects. Always nice to have friends out there with you as well, totally. Right?
Oh, yeah. We probably have known most of those guys for going on 20
must be at this 20 point plus now, years. That's crazy.
And was a Rise Against Thursday Circus Survive tour.
So, I just found
days?
that poster.
Yeah,
I just moved into a new house and I unpacked all this stuff, and my son actually pulled out the poster, and I was like, "Yep, touring with them."
Totally. That's crazy. God, a nice little circular moment. That's so fun. And nice, of course, to have you back over here with some new music. First single in a little minute. Really nice kind of online reaction and everything. I'm curious how it's been going down live and just how you're kind of feeling about it now. It's finally out in the world here. First new music for, 3 years? Something like that?
Yeah, it's always a good sign when, the song feels like it fits right in live. And Nod is just that. It's just been seamless. Just play it right from the get-go. It's just super comfortable to play, and the reaction has been really good. So
yeah, definitely fits them. I feel like that's something, whenever the world's in tumultuous times, Rise Against appear, and they rise to the occasion, no pun intended. But that's got to be nice, genuinely, to see that, not just on a live perspective, but actually generally the audience feedback and reaction is really nice, because it does feel very fitting for the times, as a lot of your music does,
Yeah, a lot of the things that we're going through now with a lunatic White House, type thing in the news just every day. I think that there are some things that are happening like this week that are new, but some things that are just very old. We know them from Reaganism and Thatcherism. We've seen this before. Punk rock has taught us about this week and how to prepare for it, you know what I mean? And so our songs, whether it's Nod or some of the other stuff, we've been singing about these ideologies for a long time. And so every time you play them, you're playing them to a different moment in time, a different moment of history. And so they mean different things to us and hopefully to our fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice extra that's coming as well. By the time people see this, they'll already know. But Record Store Day, I love to see you guys get involved in that. Always such a great event. And I saw a nice little quote from yourself, Tim, about that. It seems like it's something that means a lot to you, because we all grow up going to record stores, but that idea of going into an independent record store, picking up something on vinyl, there's something special about it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the risk of doing a back in my day,
vinyl's back, baby.
Right,
it's not back in your day anymore.
But we didn't have the internet. When we were first getting into music, record stores was your town square. It was your focal point. It was your Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple, MySpace, it was all those things wrapped in one place. It was, you had magazines, you know what I mean? Sure. You learned about things from that, word of mouth for sure. And then when you got to the store, that's where you found your people. It's where you found the records. If you had a cool store, and Joe and I grew up going to places like Reckless Records, which is one of the few that are still there in Chicago.
Oh, wow, great.
And so that was not only was it a great indie store, but I would learn later this was a store that was curating what they were selling you. You know what I mean? They weren't just taking everything. And so these were the tastemakers of the day. And so it made a difference. I think one of the first times I met you, Joe, was at the Clubhouse at the Metro. Was a record store, actually.
For sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, a famous venue, the Metro in Chicago. used to have a record store called the Clubhouse next door, which was a great record store.
It was awesome. Yeah.
I love that, man. Oh yeah, you're right. It's that community feel is so important as well, and that's why Record Store Day is so great. Actually, getting people out into the record stores helps support them, and yeah, long may that tradition continue.
Absolutely,
I really like that. Really exciting. New music. I'm going to ask you that question. I know you're just going to dodge it, and that's absolutely fine. But let's talk about what may or may not have been worked on. You know, obviously we know the singles out there, which is great. I guess just how are you feeling about this next year and where you might want to go next? You know.
So yeah, we made Nod with actually a producer from London, Australia originally, but she lives in London, Catherine Marks. Cool. People might know her from her work with everything from like Frank Carter to Manchester Orchestra to St. Vincent to Boy Genius. She has like a couple Grammys. Like she's rad. And we worked on Nod, but we worked on a lot more than just Nod with her. Right. And so people will get to hear what we've been like keeping under wraps hopefully very soon. Yeah,
very cool. I mean, it's nice that it's obviously been a few years now since the kind of Nowhere Generation era and all that stuff. But I'm always curious when we get to this kind of stage, what the learning points were from that previous era. You know, is there anything you learned making that last record and the EP, of course, that followed, that you kind of thought, oh, that's something I'd like to try again, or maybe something to push against in the other direction?
I think for me, every record, we just kind of tackle it as its own entity, you know? I always feel like the music we write for a record cycle, it's like a stamp in time, and we move forward. And I think with Nod, we were definitely, you know, wanting to try something different, you know, different production team. Alan Mulder mixed it, and he was amazing to work with. I mean, so yeah, it's nice to shake things up a little bit, especially as long as we've been a band. So we're lucky to have the opportunity to do so, to have a label, you know, behind us to let us do that.
Yeah. I guess that's got to be always the challenge at this point, is to find more challenges, right? You know, you guys have achieved so much, tick so many things off your own bucket list, I'm sure. But like when you get to this point, it's like, okay, how can we keep pushing ourselves and finding something new in that way?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, interesting to see how that develops for sure. Up next on the calendar, obviously hitting the US with more friends of ours, Papa Roach. You know, great band. Really interesting pairing that I guess maybe a few years ago you wouldn't have expected to see that pairing, but oddly now I really get it. It fits really nicely, I think, those two.
Yeah, I think we were in your camp for many years, and then we would cross paths with these guys at festivals and like hang out and you know, found out that they were fans of the band, you know, and after playing like a lot of shows together, just kind of in passing, you know, we realized that we have a lot of crossover in the fan world. And then where that crossover isn't, we always look for opportunities to play for people who don't normally come to see us play. Absolutely. And so I feel like there are people in the Papa Roach community who maybe haven't checked our band out. And so we look forward to that, because that's something that a band in our era always looks for. We're always hungry for a new audience. And I think vice versa, Papa Mason Rise Against fans who don't maybe always see Papa Roach, you know? And so I think it's in that sense, it's a perfect kind of moment for our bands to get together.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it makes a lot of sense in 2025. I think it's going to be a larger crossover than we might have expected. I think it's going to be very, very cool.
Yeah. I think we are in a place where we want to try new things. We're looking at trying new things, and like just excited to still be out here and still reaching people in ways that we didn't expect to be doing like 25 years later.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, speaking of the kind of, you know, looking to the past a little bit of the nostalgia. One moment I did want to mention that happened since the last time I saw you, Tim, jumping up on stage with Fall Out Boy in the most Chicago moment that's probably ever happened, because it was at Riot Fest as well. I mean, a lot of history with those guys, of course, but just so much fun, and particularly it was on Sugar, wasn't it? I mean, a big moment in the set. Tell me about, I mean, whose idea was that, first of all, and how did that kind of come to be?
That was like a last minute off the cuff.
I love that. Yeah,
I was just at the show. I was on the stage watching NoFX play. I think I was with Joe, but I was texting with Pete, so I was like, hey, I want to say hi before you go on stage. And he's like, yeah, come on over. And he's like, hey, do you want to come sing? And I was like, I immediately looked down to see what I was wearing. So I was like, because I was like, I didn't come here to sing. I didn't come here to be on stage. I came here to watch bands. I didn't think about that when I like put clothes on this morning. You know what I mean? Like, and now you're gonna put me on stage in front of your hometown crowd, and then I'm thinking like, so anyway, it all came together, and then I just went backstage and hung out with Patrick a little bit, and we sang the song backstage a couple times, which was fun, and just fun to kind of catch up with those guys. And I don't know, they're just the real deal. Those guys, they're the best. They're the real deal. Yeah. They deserve every bit of success that has come their way. And it was fun to just kind of join them on stage and sort of pop into their world for 45 seconds and like see the madness and the mayhem that it is. So,
amazing stuff. Out of curiosity, what would you have had to have been wearing to go, nope, not going on stage? What would have been the deal breaker then?
You know, luckily there's nothing too obnoxious in my wardrobe, but I was like,
like, come on, dude.
But I at least had to think about it, you know.
I wore my hot dog costume to the festival, man.
Like spaghetti sauce stains
that's
on
true.
a white t-shirt.
That's true.
Right,
when you're out there at those festival food trucks, you never know.
Yeah,
man.
I snuck into catering a little bit. I wasn't playing, so I was like, you know,
get those tokens. Let's go backstage.
Totally. I'm like, looking in the mirror to see what my hair is doing. Just like that was just, you know, I wasn't presentable. I don't think.
That's fair.
But I became presentable.
Pulled it off. More than pulled it off, man. More than pulled it off. I guess I'll leave you with this, gentlemen. You know, obviously we know, like you say, working on some more new music whenever that may appear, that'll be great. But just beyond that, what are these kind of aims moving forward for you now? You know, we say like you have like truly ticked everything you could possibly want off this bucket list, finding new ways to challenge yourself. But are there any aims as you go and prepare for this next year of the band that you kind of want to hit this time around?
I'm not there. Like, we're just taking today, you know, just one day at a time.
Yeah, it's for sure. I agree with Joe, and I think that, like, I will say, like, you know, we're here in London right now. We're about to play Brixton tonight. We've been in Europe for about a week now, and the last 3 shows were all surprises to me. Like, they were all kind of leveled up venues. They were venues that were bigger than the last venue we played, and we don't think we really expected that. Like, we're totally cool coming here and happy to be playing in all the same places that we always play. And so to see that the Rise community kind of growing this late in our career is something that sort of, I think, takes us by surprise a little bit. Like, and it's sort of exciting to know that people are just kind of maybe jumping on this train this far along, because it makes you sort of not reevaluate, but like it reminds you that like this might be a show that you've done before, songs that you've played before, but this might be a brand new thing to somebody in the front row, and so make sure you take it seriously and with that responsibility.
Absolutely. I mean, that is the really nice thing. I mean, you're far from alone in this, but there has been this kind of wave now, to sound like an old man myself here, but because of streaming, etc., the fact that you will now see young kids coming to your shows for the first time, that's got to always be so gratifying to see these newer, younger faces appearing in the crowd. You're probably also at the point, again, not to age us all, because I'm getting on as well, man, but I imagine you got some of your fans now, maybe they're bringing the kids along and playing. That's got to be cool.
Yeah, that's the show. You have, like, you know, your fans that were there maybe the first time we played London, opening for Sick of It All at the Astoria or the Mean Fiddler, and they're in the back. They got a seat. They got a comfortable seat. You know, they sprung for a VIP or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they're comfortable. They're texting with the babysitter. You know what I mean? And then down to the front row. The front row has always been 16 years old for the last 25 years. You know what I mean? And every year I kind of think like, oh, this will be the last year that people like are like new people get into our band. And every year I'm proven wrong. And so it's kind of cool to connect with young people. It's cool that we still have our veteran fans that have been with us all these years and have stuck with us. Like, it's, you can see it all out there, and it's kind of amazing. And like you said, people bring in their kids, which is totally nuts. Like my dad got me into your band, like that kind of thing. That's something it's hard to wrap your head around.
Multi-generational. That's what we like to see. Long may it continue. Gentlemen, I'm going to let you go and get ready for the show tonight, but always a pleasure. Can't wait to hear what's coming next. And yeah, just all the best till then, all right?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys. Rise against everybody.